speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me do what set me if it could flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out the side.
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today is Friday the 7th, and some people saying, thank God it's Friday. For me, it's just another day. And of course, today is Portucana. And today we have in our Portucana this morning none other than Dr. Anthony Carter, aka the Mighty Gabby, and he will be doing our Portugal. Now Flavius and Max wanted here with me this morning. Top of the morning, guys. Top of the morning.
Grand rising.
What's going on in each of your neck of the woods?
Quiet. Sonny, quiet.
Oh yeah.
When it's quiet, be careful.
Indeed.
Calmness themselves come with a storm. So
right.
Watch it.
Storm.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's happening in yours, Flavius? What happened down in Jamaica this morning?
You ever heard of the word ditto?
Ditto. No, more than a guy who used to play football with me named Ditto Bloats. That's about it.
Ditto. Same thing.
I am just dittoing what Max said.
Quiet. Okay.
Be key and quiet.
I'm afraid of those quiet storm, boss. That's what we call it, the quiet storm. So, we know this Sunday is Mother's Day, and some people crazy over it, some people not. So we have to understand why some people are and why some people not. But whatever it is, we know it's going to be special. We always make Mother's Day special for mothers, and I consider every woman a mother. Don't ask me why, because I'm not going to explain, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you have the mother they love. Their mother hurt. Woman is mother hurt, so... Don't necessarily have to have a child to be a mother.
That's true.
Big ups going out there to them. So I want to start off with my friend's song here this morning, and then we're going to bring in our guest this morning, the Mighty Gabby. Because I remember yesterday Flavius and I was talking about Dr. Anthony Carter, and I said, but Flavius, how many people know him as Dr. Anthony Carter? We know him as the Mighty Gabby. So we're going to, lick up some Tsunami and then bring in our guests and do the chat session. All right? What you guys say?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, let's go. This one for all the ladies.
Woman, seated upon the throne of glory. About to go and tell you a true story. That'll make the mythical nights and Davon Silver.
We should be filled with happiness.
What a mercy,
with love, yeah. This for your queen, go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah. And every festiv's warm like a tree seed.
What a monster!
Rivers of love, you're a plant, yeah. You come with the dignity to surrender. Especially saint, yeah. We should be best filled with happiness. From sir with love, yeah. This for your queen, go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs,
The woman forget to conquer. She forget the woman. No watch no step, she delicate woman. Forget tights and respect one. Mother, sister, and let me tell you vital part of me biology. If she never open and let them baby would be. Which one I proud see in me history. To the children know that could never be who you think nurture papa and care for me. To the long and series of maternity, none of the woman forget pamper. She forget the woman. step, she delicate a woman. Forget heights and respect one. Mother, sister, darling.
You're moving graciously, the loving you give me is so stress-free. Yeah, you are a source of strength, Miss Magnificent, positive thinker.
Woman of the master race.
My Madonna, modern emancipation. So, wish you the best life filled with happiness. From Sir with love, yeah. This for your queen, go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah.
Then when you are going with your girl chat, you mad couldn't be referring now to me Princess Black. Well, if you now come out of the poopy back, that might cause negativity, you would hold it back. Cause there's no other like the female gender. No amount of sex change can replace your mother. You might tend to differ as you go older, but the breast was best and still is me brother. The woman forget pamper, she forget the woman. Now watch no step, she delicate.
Well, this one is a motion.
Forget height and respect one. Mother, sister, darling. Could I never come disrespect my queen, you know? No, you better come clean. Silver, come bounce it so.
Wish you the best life filled with happiness. From Sir with love, yeah. Before you can go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah. Wish you the best life filled with happiness. From Sir with love, yeah. Before you can go on, fulfill your dreams. More kisses and hugs, yeah.
Woman forget pamper, she forget better woman. Watch no step, she delicate a woman, you know. Forget heights and respect one. Mother, sister, than the woman. Yeah, the woman, you know, needs some respect, secure.
Yes, of course. The title of the song is from Sir with Love with Tsunami MIC up there in Boston, Massachusetts. From Sir with Love, and it's all about the woman. And as I said, Sunday is Mother's Day, so big ups going out to all women. Flavius and Max, are you there with me?
I'm here.
All right. So Max,
Okay.
we're gonna bring in our guests early today so we can get as much as as possible, because today we have another engagement and I don't want to be late. All right, so Max, you want to do the honors?
Yes, here's some brief information on Dr. Anthony the Mighty Gabby Carter. He's a social activist, entertainer, actor, guitarist, singer, songwriter, and kaisonian extraordinaire. Dr. Anthony the Mighty Gabby Carter, at today's count, leaves a legacy of more than 1,500 songs. If that weren't enough, this prolific artist has written 1,447 poems. And yes, Gabby's working on a multi-volume collection of poetry, so his presence here is quite timely on the Poetry Corner. The Mighty Gabby.
And so the Real Stuff Podcast, welcome the Mighty Gabby. Top of the morning, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Morning, Gabby.
Hi, how are you?
Grand Rising.
Still listening to you.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Tina.
Yes, darling. I'm listening to you all the way in London.
Oh my God. How is London?
Wow.
It's cold. We're still in lockdown, but I'm listening to you. I in my bed lying down.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we can see that. You're well comfortable in bed.
Yes, I'm well comfortable.
All right.
Beautiful.
Nice.
I got to support my friend.
All right. Thank you.
In London, I think I should start with a man from London who is very much a person that we need to highlight because he needs to pay reparations. And so he needs to pay in particular to Jamaica and to Barbados. His name is Richard Drax. And his whole family had plantations in both Jamaica and Barbados. and treated.
That's all plantation.
Yes, terribly. So we are advocating, firstly, for him to hand over to the government of Barbados the Draxall plantation, and secondly, to go into serious negotiations on paying reparations. So this is the letter to Richard Drax.
They come with free lifetime servicing. Nice one.
Hi, Richie. How you doing, bloke? I doubt if you know me. My country, they call me the most honorable Mighty Gabby. You ask, where is my country? And what's my country's name? For you not to know it would be a bloody shame. Island that made you rich, not through hard work and persistence, but by your ancestors' slaving ways, no wallet in their inheritance. Your whole name is long to call. Richie, my boy, relax. You are Richard Grosvenor Plunkett, Ernco, Earl Drax. You were born in Westminster, London. You lucky bastard, you. On the 29th of January, 1958. Do you agree that this is true? You've represented South Dorset since 2010. You, the great grandson of a slave master. So let's continue then. Your father Henry before you had blood money in his veins. Once again, not earned, but from his father's ill-gotten gains. Except for the added Walter, he carries the same name as you. Your family is a disgrace. I mean the whole Drax crew. Your great-grandfather fought so hard to retain slavery. To slave owners, he gave thousands of pounds, millions in today's money, to make sure slavery was maintained in Barbados and Jamaica. When emancipation came to us, he was angrier than ever. He led the fight all day, all night. So damn heartless was he, and shamelessly, gleefully accepted 4,500 pounds in lost property money. This was no land or houses that wicked Drax did lose, but 183 slaves who got their freedom, boss. Until this day, Barbadians living on this island still work so hard, believe it or not, on your inherited plantation. Your great-grandfather had the gall to call that place Draxall. That place should be named Hellhole, no other name at all. So, Richie boy, the first act you must do as a compensation is officially give that bloodstained place to Barbados as a reparation. Of course, that's just the beginning. We no longer are making sport. We continue the reparations. We putting your tail in court for millions of pounds you owe us for the murders and free labor, for the burnings and the amputations, for how your grandfather made us suffer. We are still reeling from those acts. Our country is in a mess as a direct result of that free labor. These are problems you must address. We will not lynch or hang you, nor any of your offspring, even though we have massive evidence that that would be the appropriate thing. All we seek is what you owe us in proper reparation. And then you can visit our island nation and spend a safe vacation. That's the first one.
Wow.
Just outstanding. And
thank you. Thank
we
you so
do,
much.
we do, he do have a drop hall in the parish of St. Anne.
That's correct.
Close to Ocho Rios, yes.
Owned by the same Richard Drax.
Okay.
And when we tried to get him to give us the plantation at Drax Hall here in Barbados, he said that it wasn't officially handed over to him yet. And that's why he has not paid any taxes on it.
After I own the property. So make it look like he leased the land from somebody else.
Yeah. So, I have so much information on him, so much, but I wouldn't bother with him too much anymore today. I will go to a poem called The Greek Welfare Cheat and Lizzie.
All right.
The Greek Welfare Cheat and Lizzie. Of course, I'm referring to Queen Elizabeth of England and her husband, who was recently deceased. Lizzie was but a teenager, so pleasure she did seek was introduced, then cut loose on securing a certain Greek. He from a line of aristocrats, definitely cheaters all. Lizzie started dating this dude. In love, she did fall. Lizzie was of royal stuff, a free-living Wabine, soon to inherit a monarchy, soon to be known as a queen. Quick so, Lizzie married this Greek in splendor and in style. The British start singing God Save the Queen. The whole country gone wild. Taxpayers' money in full supply was fretted on Lizzie and this fella named Philip in England's own country. We are talking billions and billions in splendor and with flair. Both he and Lizzie permanently living off of welfare. I don't mean for a year or two. I mean for decades. Until yesterday when he passed away. Let's give welfare loud cheers. The British are a proud people. Their country is built on fraud. So it was natural that their queen and her spouse live free in the name of the Lord. I hope now that Philip is dead, the queen, through decency, would give the poor taxpayers back all of their money. Lizzie, they say you're a decent girl who has 2 birthdays. Prove to the world that this is so. Change your selfish ways. Stop taking the taxpayers' money. Now you're in fairly good health. No need to increase your personal wealth. Stop jewel burdening yourself. Give that money to the poor countries your country has robbed. If you were not so old, I'll tell you, look for a blasted job. Do not die like Philip, for your end is near. Show kindness, mercy, be a real monarch, and stop living off of welfare.
All right.
Never thought about it like that, Never thought it like that.
She needs to look for a new job.
Stop living off of welfare.
It needs a job. It needs a job.
Hey, the whole Caribbean up here are welfare, because still have to pay taxes to the Queen. And the true thing. Not to mention the British themselves, too. So Gabby, I have a question, and the question is, as a songwriter, I know most likely your songs, them, any one of them can become a poem as well. But what make you now decide? How long have you How long have you been, doing the poetry along with music?
Well, about 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, I started. It was the 17th of August, 2017. And this thought just came to me. Why not write some poetry instead of just writing songs, this way you can write even faster, because these poems don't take me long. I've never taken like up to an hour to write them or anything like that. 20 minutes.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So I decided, all right, I will try it. So this game said, try to write 365 poems in 365 days. So I said, okay. I like that idea. I like that challenge. So I did with 3 weeks to spare. Then another thought comes back and says, try for 500. Okay, I tried.
I like that idea. I love
500 in about 450 days. So I said, okay, cool. Because I am making note all the time. Because when I write a poem, I don't only just write it. I write the date, the year, and how long it took me to write it. So I know exactly how long each poem has taken me to write.
Good.
And so I continued, and then mine said, try for 1,000. Oh God, no. So I did not write anything for like 3 weeks. And then this mind, this thought, this spirit, whatever it was, keep coming to me like almost in an annoying fashion. Write to 1,000, write to 1,000. So I began to write, and sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6 poems would come in one day. In fact, one day, which I've never been able to achieve again, I wrote 7 poems. Okay. So I began to like send them out to my friends just to test to see how they felt about them and so on. And the response was really, really encouraging. So I decided, okay, that's it. And then a friend of mine by the name of Billboard Merrill, he said, man, write an additional 100. I said, Billboard, you know how hard it is to write 1,000 poems? I'm not writing anymore. Man, you try and write the 100, man, the extra 100. I said, no. So after about 4 or 5 days, we have a Calypso chat. The people who I write Calypso, sing Calypso, are Calypso fans. And he wrote in the chat, the great Gabby's pen has dried up. He cannot write 100 poems. I said, you're supposed to be my friend. What kind of foolish stuff is that? And he was laughing.
He must promote you, man. Yes.
I really think you can do it. So I said, okay.
All right.
Every single poem I write, I'm going to send it to you. He is the owner of a private school, right? He teaches English and mathematics and stuff. So I said, okay. So and he's also a very good artist, good keyboard player and singer. So I began to send all the poems to him alone, and then he would send them out to other people. So when we got to like 15, 20 poems to go, he put it in the chat. Gabby has taken up my challenge, and he's soon home. So I wrote the 11. And then I got the inspiration, look, try for 15. So I wrote one this morning, and that one has taken me to within 15 poems of the 1,500. So I am now at 1,485 poems. So I hope nobody requests 2,000. I just don't want to hear that game. But you know,
oh my goodness.
There is one here called Land of the Sea and Home of the Brave. We know we have something that says Land of the Free and Home of the Brave.
Yes.
This one is Land of the Sea and Home of the Brave. And it goes,
all right.
A national anthem. How its lyrics behave. No, there is a national anthem. This is how its lyrics behave. The land of the free and the home of the brave. Millions put their hands across their chests as it is sung. Of course, one of its verses isn't even worth cow dung. That verse and mistreatment of blacks make some people lose their zeal. for this anthem, this vile anthem. So when it's played, they kneel. And now in this quote-unquote pandemic, their administrative minds protect the rich, turn off the switch, which gives life to the poor. Closing cafes, gyms, and bars, they mask nothing anymore. Physical mask is now the norm. Most of us agree with that. No more lost jobs and housing on the track. Who then will bell the cat? Citizens can't buy homes no more. Rents sky high, astronomically. Will the anthem's lyrics proclaim land of the brave and home of the free? So that's the land of the brave and home of the free.
That's the American anthem.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
The land of the brave and the home of the free.
Boy. Have when doing say like a musical concert, have anyone ever requested poems from you during the segment?
A couple of times. And I did, but what I would do is sing, and then I would recite one of the poems, right? But right now we're doing it soon onto a book. We're in the advanced stages of bringing out the first book. It would only have maybe about 50, 60 pages, but I plan to do 30 books. So
30 books are for poems?
All of the poems will be
30 books of poems?
Yes. Eventually all of them will be in print.
Okay.
But right now we're doing poems focusing only on life.
Sure.
That first volume will be on life. And we're calling the volumes the Anthonyology, because my name is Anthony, as opposed to the anthology. We're saying the Anthonyology. But I also like to do some that have wit and humor. So this one is entitled The Wife Helpers Association. The Wife Helpers Association. The Wife Helpers Association held a meeting today. They hugged and greeted each other. They smiled. They knelt to pray. The meeting soon proceeded, chaired by Serena Proctor, the president, who evidently was keen to present the agenda. The first item was impressive, my friend, to say the least. The wife helpers discussed how their time with husbands should increase. They felt the wives were being unreasonable, and that is why they seek to increase the time with husbands in mind from 2 days to 3 times a week. Second item was even more impressive. They thought it was unfair that wives forked out not one blind cent to them to wash their husbands' underwear. They felt the wives should easily provide the detergent, at least the fabric softener they are willing to put, vehemently argued fair peace. If this was done, the former nun said that would be fair play. They render the labor, doing the wives a favor, and harmony would increase. And if by chance he leaves a part, we'll launder that too, said Miss Peace. They also vigorously declared that it's a cardinal sin for anybody to refer to them as outside women. The last thing that they discussed was whether wives had the right to call their phones asking for their husbands well after midnight. Sarita Morning and Zalita Bell felt this was very wrong. Salita introduced a 4-point argument that was impressive and strong. She said that amounts to harassment. No wife should ever do that, whether she be a low-class strumpet or an aristocrat. The attendants nodded in approval. No hesitation, no pause. In fact, the statement of agreement was met with tumultuous applause. The meeting ended happily, hugging and kissing again, with all agreeing to meet the wives in person next Wednesday by Laquita Payne. 6 p.m. on the dot, believe it or not, come sunshine or rain. Life.
Wow. Nice. I'm curious, Mighty Gabby. I would love to know more about you. Tell us a little bit more about who is Dr. Anthony Carter.
Well, I was brought up in a very poor neighborhood, but it was a neighborhood where everybody lived together, and we looked out for each other. There's a place called Chapman's Lane / Emmerton, because both the areas combined with each other. The one great thing that we always had was music and athletics. So that in that one neighborhood, we produced West Indies cricketers. We produced people who swam and ran for Barbados at the Caribbean level. We produced singers like Jackie Opel, with whom you all are quite familiar with. And, we produced some of the finest journalists Barbados has ever had, and some of the finest scholars and some of the best singers that the churches have ever seen and stuff like that. So we always, we were a fishing village, because we grew up near to an island called Pelican Island. Believe it or not, Barbados once had an island, a ward island called Pelican Island. But these so-called thinkers and developers decided to destroy the island to build the Bridgetown Harbor. Now, to me, that was a monumental mistake, because all experts say and said that it would have been better to build a harbor in Speightstown, since Speightstown was a natural harbor, and it would have cost at least 3 times less to build a harbor there. And we would have retained and maintained Pelican Island. And in today's time, where the young people like partying and so on a lot, that would have been a perfect party spot to just get on the boat and travel for maybe 10, 15 minutes, and there you are on the island. So we that was really what can I say, short-sighted decision. So I grew up like that. I grew up in the St. Mary's school and the St. Mary's choir very briefly, because I did not like the way how it was done. They tend to, it was all colonialism. I grew up in colonialism. My reverend was white. My sexton at the time was white. The entire thing was like South Africa, in my opinion. I did not like that. So when I grew up in Barbados, the police commissioner was white. The police chief was white. The head of the police band was white, right? The head of the postmaster general was white. All of the tellers in the banks, like this Barclays Bank, whom I will speak about soon, were white. Swan Street was full of mulattoes, all whites. They had a combination of whites and mulattoes, no black workers. You can imagine a country with 96% black people. No black workers were in our 2 main streets, Swan Street and Broad Street. So that's the kind of fight that I grew up with. And I remember there was once an occasion where a British Prime Minister came to Barbados. I'm trying to remember his name, but I can see the tall white man now. And he was there. His name was Harold Macmillan. And they lined us up in front of the mayor's office. At that time, we had a mayor. Barbados no longer has a mayor. We don't have a mayor of the city of Bridgetown anymore. Arabara ended that when he came to power. He said that the mayor had too much power and he wanted to end it. And so here we were, children, 9, 10 years old, lining up to hear this man pontificate about how great Britain is, so great, and how we should be lucky to be colonies of Britain, and how other countries don't have as good a queen as us. And oh man, the man was horrible. So I walked home. Yeah. I lived about 150 to 200 yards from there. So I walked home. I lived in Emmerton, Bridgetown, Chapman's Lane. Well, the next morning, my immediate class teacher, a man by the name of Cossie Lane, said to me, "Tell me something, young man. Tell me that it is not true that you walked out on the Queen's representative speech yesterday morning. Tell me it's not true." I said, "It is true." No, you cannot do that. Let me tell you something. What you will do is to write me 25 lines with these exact words. I must respect the Queen and her representatives, and then put in capital letters, at all times. I want that 25 times. We will bring it in tomorrow, and I will examine it to make sure that you have, in fact, written all 25 lines. I was so vexed, so mad, so angry that I wrote 50 lines. And when I took it back to him, he realized immediately that those lines could not be 25, that they were over 25. And that day I learned a new word. He said that that was called insubordination, and that I was trying to prove to him that the 25 lines meant nothing to me. And I wrote 50. And because I did that, he would now give me 100 lines. So I went home, and I went to my Aunt Doris, and I said, "Aunt Dor, I need a book." She said, "But Tony, you had books last week." And I said, "Aunt Dor, please give me another book. I have to do a special project in school." I didn't tell her it was lines. I got the book. And books of those days were like 6 cents, 12 cents, 10 cents, depending on the books. And I wrote the 100 lines. My mother saw me and said, "Tony, what foolishness is that? You're writing the same thing over and over and over and over. What nonsense is that?" So I told her what happened. She said, "Oh, no. You cannot walk out on the Queen's representative like that. Look, you have to pray and hope that the Lord forgive us, because that is blasphemy." And then I started going with all this thing. So, and I didn't even have my own mother on my side.
Poor you.
No defense for you, no?
There it was. So from that day, I was just 10 years old. I swore that anything colonial, anything, I would be fighting against it. And that's right. I have done that for the last 63 years.
Whoa.
All right. That's right.
Beat down colonialism and in your way. So would you say that
I grew up, then, and there was a gentleman called Seymour Bishop who had a village choir, and I joined the choir at 6 years old, not because I was no great singer or anything like that, but because he wanted someone to make up their numbers. They had to have a minimum of X amount of singers. I think it was 50 singers. Excuse me, to be eligible to enter the national, the island-wide at the time, because we were not national yet. Village choir competition of all places, Kensington Oval. So I felt excited. Here I am at the great Kensington Oval. I'm going to sing at Kensington Oval. And on there was packed, because the village choirs were chosen from across Barbados. And would you believe that our choir won? And, I was even more excited. And the point is, I believe that choir winning had absolutely nothing to do with my singing. I think it must have been the worst time I ever sang in my entire life. But the choir was so good that my horrible performance did not even stop them from winning. So from then, I wanted to be involved in the music and so on. And I started to write. And that same year, 4 years later, I was 6. By 10, I wrote my first song. And it was called Vote for Motley and Get Free Cakey. Now, people pronounce it cakey, some people pronounce it khaki, but it is the same old green bad looking stuff that our children have to wear to school, and some still do till this day. And
oh my goodness.
The song was the most stupid song you could ever imagine, but it resonated with our residents and all the people from Bridgetown and St. Michael. And it went like, vote for Motley and get free cakey. Vote for Motley and get free cakey. Don't mind nobody. I tell you, don't mind nobody. I say vote for Motley and get free cakey. That's the whole entire song. Look, all the little children in the neighborhood and so on, it started to pick up singing this thing, and then the adults started singing it and all of that. And he was so pleased when he came to visit our neighborhood that he called us up on the stage as little children to sing this song. And it was very, very impactful. And that's how I started then to write songs. I would go around to my friends. I would write these things and they would say, listen to this. I hear on the Jamaica podcast, you know I go call it a real blast. Tell me something, mister. Don't you love Barbados and Jamaica? And you ever heard that? No. What's trouble is that? I say, oh, God, that means I wrote it. And that's how I began to write songs. So by the time I reached 16, I had a friend called Charles Smith who sang under the sobriquet Mighty Romeo. And we were classmates and schoolmates. And we were such close friends that, in fact, we married to two cousins. And he remained married to Sleep until he died a couple of years ago. But I got divorced quite some time ago, which now I have a new wife. Anyway, the thing about it is that he told me to come and enter the competition. He said, man, they got guys there, you're singing better than man. And I was so nervous. I said, nah. So I entered then 2 years later, and I came third. So he was really happy. And he said, good, now that you've come third, then, you got to continue, man. And I said, man, Charlie, I don't know. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And I did. And I have had that bug since then. So I entered the competition many times, and I got lucky. I won 9 times.
That's not That's not long.
That's not long.
And then I also won the
Are you a Singer of the Year.
I won the Buster Award, and every single thing that you can imagine. Then I got the honorary doctorate from UE. I became a humanities scholar at UE, and I won the Governor General's Award. I won the Clement Payne Award. I also received an award from of all places, Costa Rica, from their Black community there. And by the way, Costa Rica, we should pay more attention to Costa Rica because they love us without any inhibition. The Black people in Costa Rica love Caribbean people. They refuse to be called Latin Americans or Central Americans. They say they are Caribbean people.
Yeah.
And they still have a Marcus Garvey Center there.
Okay.
Yes, I know that.
Wow.
The first place Marcus Garvey went when he left Jamaica was not New York and London, as you heard. It was Costa Rica. About 105, 106 years ago. And he took with him hundreds of Jamaicans And then the others followed, like the Trinidadians, the Bajans, the St. Lucians, the Antiguans, the Grenadians, a lot of Caribbean people, Trinidad and Tobago, and so on. And Marcus established a community that is still alive and well in Lemon. Lemon is the place in Costa Rica. And they speak English. Listen, when I first went there, I met this lady, and she says, yeah, man, what go on? So I said, wait, who teach her to speak like us? So then when the woman started to talk, to flow, pure Jamaican accent, I said, how you learn that? Learn me a born with this, man. I said, what? What? And then she introduced me to other people. And they all speak English with Jamaican accent. You must check. And I have good contacts there.
Okay.
And I want for you all to contact them. They love us with a passion.
We will.
But I want to read
great.
another lighter poem for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I say for you, I mean collectively, you, for everyone.
Yeah.
Please
it's
do.
called The Halo. The Halo. The light was bright, soft like moonlight. Its beam a constant flow, an angelic and unrestricted, beautiful halo. He with back against his wife, oh life felt sweet for sore. He snuggled up, he bundled up to her a little more. He smiled, and soon heavy stupor crept into his most soothed mind. Unconsciousness put him to rest. My goodness, he felt fine. The morning seemed to come quickly. He woke feeling alive. To tell her what he saw last night had unbelievable drive. The thought played havoc with his mind. Anxiety to unpeel, reveal that luminous experience. Oh, halo, fully on show. Played games with his conscience. She took a long 15-minute bath, 45 minutes early. He followed suit. She looked so cute in nature's unclothed robe. He felt he should delay the news that urged him on to pry deeper into the great halo, her blessings from on high. She seemed not in a joyful mood, which puzzled his inquiring mind. But since she seemed a bit grumpy, he leave it for another time. Your breakfast is ready, came her voice from in the kitchen area. Cold, without a single smile, they both ate silently. What could have made her act this way? What upset his baby? She dressed in silence. Tension flowed, so thick, could be cut with any knife. He tried to hug. She firmly shrugged. His loving, beautiful wife. He dropped her off to work that morn. More silence filled the air. Darling, what's wrong? His voice was strong. She pretended not to hear. Oh, how he missed that parting kiss. He drove feeling despair. His best friend Chad worked the same place as him there in Bridgetown. Chad was early, so was he. So to coffee, they settled down. He told Chad low about the halo. Chad's answer cut to the bone. That was no halo, my dear friend. Your wife was checking your cell phone.
That was a good one.
Another bad creation.
Oh, telling our sneaky little tricks in the end.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you. I wanted to ask you the question earlier about Barbados moving away from the Queen.
From the British
monarch, from the monarch,
republic.
Yeah, how is that going?
We haven't had much firm resistance to that thought or that idea, and it will be a reality on the 30th of November this year, which is our Barbados Independence Day. To me, it is monumental. Some people say it's just a formal setting, but I don't agree. For all those years, we were either a colony or a member of the so-called British Commonwealth. And, to move to a republic is, to me, a very significant move.
True.
Prior to that, we must remember that just a few months ago, after many years, on a personal level, I fought from 1977 to see the removal of Lord Horatio Nelson's statue from Bridgetown. And there were quite a number of us, maybe about 20, I said a number, who fought diligently, unceasingly, constantly, to see it removed. And we had some bourgeois, and we had some aristocrats and some educationists and academics and so on who felt that Nelson's statue should remain, that it's part of our history. And I said, slavery is also part of our history. Why not bring it back then? If you feel so strongly about it, since Nelson supported slavery, why not bring it back? It's part of our history, right?
Yeah, they would want that.
You can't agree with that. So, it was my expressive feeling was to see the statue thrown into the careenage. And I had very good reasons for believing that it should be thrown there. One, he was a British admiral. So what would be more fitting than to put the admiral out to sea? And secondly, he was a racist. And he hated Barbados. He said Barbados was the worst place he had ever visited in his life. And when he came here on his second or third visit, he refused to come ashore. Right? And he supported the king at the time, I think it was King James II, and said slavery must never end and that the sun will never set on the British Empire and slavery, and that men like Wilberforce should be hanged for treason because they were fighting to take slavery out of British way of life. And so this Nelson was lionized, and believe it or not, the statue in Barbados went up before the statue in London, England. Can you believe that? They put up Nelson's statue in Barbados, right? Those colonialists, those people of wicked thought, word, and deed, they put up Nelson's statue before the British put up the one in Trafalgar Square in London. And by the way, they had also the nerve, the guts, the temerity, the gumption, the gall to call that place Trafalgar Square also.
Oh, so all the Trafalgar Squares are part of Nelson?
Yes.
Oh, because we have one in New Kingston in Jamaica too as well, Trafalgar Square.
That is
I heard of it.
Nelson. That's for Nelson.
So basically pretty much the same things that Barbados have Jamaica have.
Yes, if you even look at the British, the Jamaican police dress, and you look at the Barbadian, and you look at the ones in Bahamas, and the ones in Trinidad, and the ones in Antigua, and the ones in Grenada, and the ones in St. Lucia, and the ones in Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they all wear
the same,
practically the same
uniform.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yes.
I used to wonder about that. You know, why them have
the pants? You know, it's amazing because they worked out. Why look for other uniform? And not, you know what was amazing to me when I was in Botswana. I went to a tattoo, which I thought was only for Caribbean people.
Yeah.
And here was this tattoo with the horses and the this and the that. And the police were wearing almost exactly the same uniform as the police in Jamaica and Barbados. I was amazed that as far away as Africa in Botswana, they were able to carry that kind of influence and madness into Africa like they did in the Caribbean. So, you know, that's why when I talked about the moving away from the British monarchy, it's not just symbolic. Very essential, very crucial, and very timely.
Yeah, man, that's good. I hope that Jamaica and other countries follow to, you know, as well.
Yes, Jamaica will, you know. One day,
send the message loud and clear around the Caribbean.
Jamaica has been a leader in many, many ways and in many, many occasions, bold and brave. Let me tell you a little story. My first time in London, England, I went there to perform at a place called the Hammersmith Ballet, along with my friend, Mighty Sparrow. Of course, the place was packed to capacity and all of that. But Sparrow went on. He only spent the weekend. I spent 6 weeks in London. I met some wonderful Jamaicans who became my friends. I'm going to give you the full story. I hope it don't take up too much time.
No, go ahead.
Let me tell you, I met a guy called Sunny Boy. Pure happenstance. He used to work for as a bus driver.
Okay.
So we went to this Grenadian club. And I'm sitting there just waiting on my friend Lester, who we call Bojangles. And in comes this tall, strapping Jamaican guy. And he comes up to the table where we're sitting. Yo, where you from? I said, I'm from Barbados. Oh, you're Bajan boy? Yeah. You play domino? I said, yes, I do. You know a 6 from a 6 and a 5 from a 5? Yes. Sit down right there. You see them two criminals over there? This is his two best friends, you know. You see them two criminals. They are taking my money to buy drinks every day. You're a Bajan, you must be able to play. Come. But I could not play not even 1/10 as good as him. But we got so lucky that we beat the two guys 6-love. Hey, Sunny Boy lift me up in the air. Oh God, Gabby, here's a champion. And from that day, he became my friend. He told my friend Lester, whom I was staying with, he said, Lester, me a kidnapping Gabby now, you know. Him with me every day till he leave London. Every day. And every day, Sunny Boy would come for me, take me to a Jamaican restaurant. He knows that I love the excavation fish and so on.
Oh, yeah.
And Sunny Boy would, if I don't come, sometimes he come, look, you're stupid Bajan man, why are you still sleeping? I said, but Sunny Boy, I came here at 3 o'clock. Me not care, man. Get the hell up, man. Let me go, man. And Sunny Boy would take me all over London, everything. Hey, so he told me he was moving back to Jamaica. And that I must come and see him. He gave me the address, he gave this and that. So I didn't go to London for 2 years. So I went back to London. And of course, the first person I asked for was Sunny Boy. And all the guys in the club head down. And I said, where's Sunny Boy? Everybody head down. I said, what happened to Sunny Boy? Man, he went back to Jamaica and was not there 6 weeks, driving on the highway. And somebody came to a red light, hit him, and he died. So, what?
Wow.
What? Man, I felt so bad. Until this day, I will never forget that man because he was special. And then there were two brothers, right, who used to be in music. And they would take my songs and their songs and take them to clubs that played only top 40 music. They never played no reggae, no other, no African music, no Caribbean music. They were so bold and brave. Peter and his brother Campbells. And they would come, Gabby, come, man. I said, and they take me to this club. I said, but the club is like they only play top 40 or British top 40 music, American top 40. Me not care about it. Come, man. Go by the DJ. Just play this song here. Hey, sorry, Mike, we only play top 40. Hey, just play the song, man. You don't see the place full with West Indian people, man. Just play the songs, man. And when you look, the guys played. When they play and they dance, the corner pack, everybody dancing. Yeah, let me see my record, man. I don't know that. Look, me bring the one for you tomorrow, man. And go to another club. Sometimes we go 5 and 6 clubs. Not the ones that play Caribbean music, the ones that play top 40. And those two guys would take my music with them to these clubs and introduce our music to white England.
Wow.
And I mean, I can't pay them for that.
True,
They set up with some friends a pirate station, Radio RJR in London. Let me tell you something. If you see fun, those guys had a record shop downstairs, and they had the radio station upstairs. The reason for the record shop downstairs isn't really too much about selling records. It's to look out for the police. Yeah. So they could be protected when the police come. And the police used to drive around these little vans, these little things. And they have these things that could pick up the aerial where the radio is, where the Jamaicans had illegal broadcasters were doing the thing. And those guys were so bold. When the police raid, all they did, they saved the antenna. Forget the record, because they could always replace the records, but they would save the antenna. And then you hear them, yeah, man, well, the station have to go off the air now, but be back in a week's time, man. Everybody, just, enjoy yourself, man, and eat your hockey and saltfish and your flying fish and cocoa. We'll see you next week, man. And they're gone, right? And they push and push till those people had to accept Jamaican music and Barbadian and Trinidadian and other Caribbean music. So I could never forget them. I could never repay them. I just love them.
That is so true. That is so true. I'm going to bring in some people in the chat room. I see this morning we greeted Tina. So I'm going to bring in Tina. Tina can say something. Unmute your mic, Tina. So in the meantime, let me ask somebody else, see if them can come in and, say something. If you see me acknowledging you, unmute your mic and then say something. All right?
Well, it's been great hearing the history of the music and the journey that you went through. It's wonderful, amazing.
Okay, that was who? Max Vanet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Max Vanet.
All right, Tina. Go ahead, Tina.
Tina here.
Yeah, go ahead, Tina.
I see Gabby get rid of me family from Trafalgar Square. It's okay. As a Nelson, but my Nelson originated in St. Lucia. My mother was St. Lucian, and my father Barbadian. But I always
not to interrupt you, Tina. My mother is Barbadian and my father is St. Lucian. So we decided
we mixed up all over.
Oh, yes.
But I always chided Gabby because whenever he writes poems, he would send them to me to read.
True.
And I keep chiding him and telling him, please publish your poems.
Yes.
Please. You know that I will back you 100%. That is my friend. We used to be both when I was in Barbados and he was in Battleground Tank. You remember them days, Gabby? He and Grinder and Romeo. You remember when you were down in the big container down in the port?
Yes.
Right. Hot as ever, but we down there putting out music.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I remember them days. So, Gabby, I know that much people ain't gonna like the things you write because you're a realist. But don't stop. Be real. Put it out there. Let them know what you know and let other people who don't know the truth know the truth. I backing you 100%.
I know that. I want you all to know that when I go to London, Tina spoils me. She takes me to some restaurant or she would take me to some store. Tina knows every store in London that got the bargains. So I would move with Tina. And when I have a show, one of the first people through the door is Tina. So I can't repair Tina either. Tina is my sister. I don't consider her my friend. She is my sister. And we love each other as brother and sister because, you know, we know how we stand, where we stand. And she has supported me for more than 30 years. So
throughout the year.
I can, and she's a very good nurse, by the way. Her profession is a nurse. She is a fantastic nurse. So apart from that, she's been taking care of the sick. And in this COVID time, I'm sure she has worked some long hours.
Every day. Giving COVID injections every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic.
All right.
I want to know that you said that. I want to quickly read this one called David and Alexander Barclays.
Okay, go ahead.
Because these two guys are the guys that started Barclays Bank. Mm-hmm. So let's go. You do not have to be a scholar or any kind of think tank to have heard the name of shame, the name of Barclays Bank. It operated in this country, in England and elsewhere. The English, knowing its sordid history, still praised it without fear. David and Alexander, these same Barclay brothers, were slave traders, solicitors of rape and of murders. They built their banking institution strictly off blood money, supported, praised, and honored by the British monarchy. This sad history was never taught in our schools up to this day. Their drop jaw looks of awe for their brutality. Their crimes should be highlighted as crimes against humanity. Instead, with words of reverence, we praise them mightily. This bank held several branches throughout the Caribbean. Their staff for years was lily white, no blacks there on the scene, except for all the janitors and the delivery men. So why do we hold them in high esteem instead of condemning them? The descendants of these wicked men, without any exceptions, must pay us for our labor on those killing plantations, overdue reparations for putting us through horrors in their mean torture chambers. Pay us without any more delays. Shame on you, you descendants of the Barclays. Meanwhile, let us collectively say a prayer as well, that may the pay Alexander and David Barclays receive is to forever rot in hell.
All right. Before I call upon some more people, I want Dr. Jones. Is she still there? Dr. Jones?
Feel me?
Hi. Yes, I want you to say something.
Yes. Hi, everybody.
Dr. Jones, how are you?
Doing? I came in late, so I'm trying to be, peaceful and polite as I listen to the wonderful exchanges.
Wonderful. We're so happy to see you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Who's Miss Reed? Go ahead and say something before we let Mr. Gabby go.
I wanted to say thank you for your work. I was interested in joining this. Maybe we would get I would like some insight, I guess, into the timing. Sometimes you post on the WhatsApp group and it seems as if you've written this entire poem in like 7 minutes or 14 minutes.
Yes.
I recall an interview you gave a number of years ago where you said, where it sounds as if you were describing you were in genuine emotional pain over what was being done in Emmerton. And you sat down and wrote the song Emmerton in
10 minutes. Yes.
But my question is that creative sort of explosion on top of a base of learning how to how much of it is, hey, this is just a gift you have, and how much of it is, well, this is a skill that I've crafted and apprenticed and developed, and then now I can, because you could expect a master potter after years of being a master potter to throw a pot in a few minutes, whereas a beginner, would carefully take an hour and get something that doesn't look as good. Right. So I wanted to know how much of that tension exists.
I'll tell you what, I surrounded myself either accidentally or deliberately with great thinkers. And then what I did is try to hone my skills based on my friendships with them and my associations with them. People like Dr. Fumile, Dr. Hilary Beckles, Jeanette Lane Clark, Cynthia Wilson, and most of them were women. This is so ironic. That I would sit in their company, people like Linda Walren, Julian Rogers. I'll sit in their company and I would soak up everything that they say to me like a sponge. And in most of those meetings, I would hardly speak. Why? Because I don't know any individuals who have learned anything by talking. All the ones I know learned by listening. And it was years ago, I was like 12 years old, and a teacher said to me, I don't know anyone who has learned anything by talking. It's by listening. Years later, a friend of mine who was born in India, who was a medical doctor here called Dr. Garish Dixit, he said to me, he used to call me Tony with his Indian accent, Tony, I tell you now, there was a man in India, and for 7 years, seven years, he never spoke at all. Everybody thought he lost the ability to speak. But when he began to speak after 7 years, people could not believe the information coming from that man. I said, what? A man deliberately refused to speak for 7 years? Yeah. He wanted to prove that you could only learn and really learn well if you listen. So I began listening, and then this thing just came out of me. And then later in my life, I understood why the guitar playing. My father left us when I was 4 years old. I never saw him again in my life. I go to St. Lucia to do a lecture at Arthur Lewis College. And this young lady comes up to me and she says, Gabby, can I speak to you or with you after you all take a break? I said, sure. She said, she came back. She said, do you have any relatives in St. Lucia? I said, yes, I do. Who? I said, my father. What's his name? When I told her, the girl started crying. She said, I'm your cousin. I said, what? I have never met any of my St. Lucian family. I felt so emotional. So, I don't know. I cannot describe the feeling that came over me. I went back on to that stage. And I said to that packed audience, of all the things that happened to me in my life, one of the greatest moments just occurred. I was just made known to one of my relatives here in St. Lucia. And they applauded, and I brought her up, and she was still in tears. And then she showed me some pictures, some family pictures. And I said, look, my father there. And she said, how you know? He said that he's never seen you since you were 4 years old. Remember what I tell you only happened about 12, 15 years ago. I said, yes, he had left us when I was 4 years old, and my brother was 2. But I've been walking around with that man in my head ever since then. So I know that that's my father there. And then she showed me other pictures and all of that. That has been a moment of momentous importance to me, because my cousin, her name is Charlie Ann, she is a lawyer. Then I found out that I have several relatives there that are lawyers and teachers and doctors and all of that, right? So that side of my family is very academic, but my father was also academic, but a musician. So through her, I get to find out that my father played guitar, which my mother never told me. And my mother, she always used to try to keep me away from music. And I wondered, well, why? I said, but oh girl, everybody said that I'm not too bad a singer and I'm not a bad. I don't care. Do the academic thing. Go and get your certificates and make that there your hobby. I said, hobby. I don't want it as a hobby. I want it as my life. She said, show me one successful entertainer. And I said to her, you're looking at the first one. I said, get up my face. My mom was very angry. She was a nurse, like Tina. And so she felt that I should, because I wasn't a bad student. I was just to be in the top 2 or 3 in the school and all that. But my calling was for music. My calling was for art, was for dance, for drama, was for poetry. And so I went to New York and I studied acting and all of that. And when I came back to Barbados, then I joined the Barbados Theatre Workshop and, the Jeanette Lane Clark's Pampalam and so on. And this has been my life ever since then.
Here is a greetings from a friend in Jamaica.
Yes.
So good morning to the doctor, the Honorable Anthony Carter from sunny Jamaica. Errol Sinclair, St. Mary, 4-H clubs, Parish Advisory Council. We make the best, the better. Chef Sinclair, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm right here.
All right, the man.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, Gabby.
On the 28th, I haven't forgotten.
Okay. Well, you are a shining example to the people of the Caribbean, sir.
Thank you very much.
For that reason, I took the pleasure of asking you to encourage our youngsters back here in Jamaica. Your different craft with music is poetry, but
yes,
and I saw you being honored by UNESCO, and it was a pleasure. I was on that card.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we had a meeting yesterday when I announced it that you were going to be our guest speaker, and everybody dancing to Calypso really.
It will be a great pleasure that day for me to be your guest speaker.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to be there as well so that we can have a good time.
Yes, sir. I'm the chairman, the chief volunteer. But that's
wonderful.
What we do.
Please send him back to Barbados in one piece.
I wouldn't have to go by Zoom like how we are doing it here now.
Okay.
But congratulations again from sunny Jamaica.
Thank you very, very much. I have something to say. I'm trying. Someone just called me here, and I know I have another meeting with them. But just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I ask this reggae nostalgic? How is your COVID going in Jamaica?
Flavius, well, we're in 2 places. The main studio is in Miami, and the other studio is in Jamaica. So Flavius, you can elaborate for the USA right now. The numbers are going down so far. The government is planning to open up by July 2nd, but some states are trying to push it to even Memorial Weekend in this month.
Okay.
So, you know, basically it's for states it's just you know, watch and go, but the country wants to open up by July 2nd, officially July 4th as well.
Okay.
So what?
Just like here in England, a lot of the children are back out to school. That's one good thing, but they're still the virus among school children, and now they found the Indian one here.
Okay, yeah.
But a lot of the people here are the only people that are not really getting vaccines is those under 18.
Okay.
So now we're to the stage where we're giving the 40-year-olds and up.
Okay.
So we're to that stage now. And then they're thinking about giving a booster shot, like how we normally give the flu shot here in England. So you would get a booster shot, like coming up to September, October, coming up to the winter. Especially for the older people, you know, 80s and overs, because those are the ones who the flu affects a lot and who the COVID-19 people with underlying conditions.
So I'm sure US have that in plan as well, because they're two big cousins. So
the problem is that everyone putting out a vaccine out there, but the efficacy is what you want. You don't want to have to be giving people 1,000,001 vaccines just to reach a certain efficacy. You want one vaccine that is going to do the job.
Exactly. Flavors for Jamaica.
Yeah, in Jamaica, about a month ago, or about 6 weeks to a month ago, our numbers just start rising. We were like at about 900 to 1,000 a day. And then the government instituted some weekend lockdowns, complete lockdowns. And now our average per day now is a little over 100. So it has gone down dramatically. But the lockdowns for weekends still continue, you know, because we want to get it right down, you know.
Okay, Barbados just recorded 1 new cases again. Theirs were down, although they had lockdown over the Easter, but they record now 31 new cases. So, and there's a school that was they found some of the secondary school children. They shut down a school yesterday, Princess Margaret.
Okay.
Well,
this thing meant to stay with us for a long time. As soon as you think you get a handle of it coming back at your face.
Right, true thing. Only 4 days ago, we were down to 0 cases.
Yeah, now you got 31.
And now we had 31.
In less than 48 hours.
It's just amazing. And you know, we were about to open back the country because we were going that you could go up to 11 o'clock at night from about 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's still so between Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, I think. Yeah. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And now I just got this fear that we may have to go back into yet another lockdown.
Yeah, because I think now schools were supposed to open next week, innit? For the children to go back face to face.
No. My little son, he's gone to school today.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing face to face today, and he did it on Tuesday, because school wasn't ready.
Okay.
So he went Tuesday and today. They're doing it like twice a week now to see how.
Yeah, my granddaughter goes to school at Queen's College, but they have not gone back in yet. They're going from next week, and they're going like 2 days in a week. But same with Princess Margaret yesterday. You gotta wait and see what government can do.
Yes. It's almost frightening.
So I know that we have to bring back the Mighty Gabby another time again. So we will, because I've been getting texts from people, and you know they're really in awe over, what is happening, and the way your presentation was made this morning. Like one gentleman, this is the reason for the inhabitants of the seat of power to not want to relinquish the benefits from slavery. It shall peel their skin, discomfort under the face card of comforting inheritance, till they do, and their ancestors rustle in their mausoleums. Barclays is prime criminal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but if I might say, Franco, the Mighty Gabby will be coming back in our new segment of honoring Caribbean music legends.
Okay.
And that is starting in June. So I would imagine by the end of June, Sir Gabby will be back with us.
All right then.
Yes.
Sorry, do a concert.
Sorry about that. So that, Tina. I guess that the panel might have heard, yes, that 2 years ago this November, I was the first recipient of the new highest honor in Barbados. It is going to replace the Sir after we become a republic. So I became the first person to receive the country's highest honor, and that's why they refer, and the official title is Doctor the Most Honorable Anthony Gabby Carter, a long, unnecessary name. I just want to thank the government and the people of Barbados for thinking so highly of me, a little boy from Emmerton.
You deserve it. You put a lot into culture, a lot into music. You really deserve it, and you give 110%, even with the younger musicians. So whatever accolade you get, you deserve.
Thank you so much, Tina. I think at this point it's very short. If I could do it,
go ahead and do it,
because it is for the whole Caribbean.
Go ahead and do it.
And it is called How We Just Talk. Nobody nowhere, from Alaska to Australia, from Russia to the Andes, could talk like we. Let me tell you. We ain't only got the African rhythm inside the language plate. We got a way of calling words that could trigger many a debate. In Barbados, two words that mean the same thing, we combine like never before. For example, who else does ask anybody to go and close the gate door? If there is some kind of conflict in a most displeasing tone, a Bajan would definitely threaten to hit you with a rock stone. I've been sensing this talk real colorful too, confusing a foreign entity. If he wants you to throw away something, he'll say, fling it where they give me. All West Indians that I know, language carry this trend. He will look you in your face and say, you know he come back again. Jamaicans dismiss the letter H whenever they make a speech, then add it when it's not expected to make their language sweeter than a peach. For example, if you want to hear language that's sweeter than a reggae tune, ask any Jamaican at all to spell for you spoon. The H will now come into play, night, morning, or afternoon. Here, Jamaica, a hes, happy, 2 hours and a hen, torati, that in spoon. Everybody else child hard is, but not a Trinidadian. A Trini would tell you right away, oh God, this child hardened. We must never be ashamed of the way we speak. It's not improper English. It's Caribbean language we seek. So open up your gate door and call a hen a hen. If your child hardened, it hardened. And if you agree, say, all right, then.
All right.
Rare Bajan,
that was a good one.
Thank you.
Yes, Gabby.
Thank you all for inviting me. It has been nothing but pure pleasure. I look forward to the next time. And God bless every one of you.
Likewise, my brother, likewise. And for everyone in the chat room this morning in Zoom meeting, we thank you very much for taking your time out and for being here. We ask you that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that whenever we are on, you can also get the notification by the bell thing, and you know we are on live. And so, the Honorable Dr. Anthony Carter, aka the Mighty Gabby, thank you for taking time out this morning too, and for being here with us.
Thank you. God bless.
All right.
Keep safe, everyone.
Yes, likewise. Everyone be safe. Be safe. Chef Sinclair, thank you very much, Chef, for taking time out this morning and for being here with us.
Next time, you will have to tell me how to cook flying fish.
He's God. He's God. But we got to be linking up. We got to be linking up.
All right.
All right, Chef. Thank you very much. Okay. Max, we're going to be linking up with you in a few minutes. Stay where you are. Don't move. We'll be right back. Stick and stay with us, my friends. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Mix up Bajan, blend up Bajan. That's a thing, never see this from Shibon. Social media, them love the most, but and everything you can post. I get hype and a boost, Lord. And everything glitter, you go put it on Twitter. You feel smart and clever, and everything you feel share. I want like clown of the year. Don't bring your life here over likes and share. Don't show your business out there. And this I wanna read epidemic. Everybody get proof on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Girls send a man a picture in a bathroom of beer. Next thing it's a line I get rant and rave. Some people don't know if they post. Mama read over foreign and never get divorced. I Jamaica post it online and the wife sisters see no way rock up in a jail over stupidity. You shouldn't post. I get hype on a post, lad. Even if you like Twitter, do not put it on Twitter. You be smart and clever, and everything you will share. Don't become the next clown of the year. Don't bring your life here over likes and share. Don't show your business out there. Now everybody a target, everything I expose. Wanted man get catch him a tweet and a post media.
My sister in Dasha T, I know everything you feel post. Well, for those of you inside the chat room this morning, I want to thank all of you for taking time out. So many people. I see Miss Audrey all there. I see Poetry Language there. I see Francine. I see Talette. Who else is there? Courtney. And to those who are sitting outside the chat room and enjoying the show as well, thank you very much for taking time out to your busy schedule and for being here with us. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now. Click the notification bell so whenever we're on live, you can join us immediately. And remember, this Sunday we'll be doing our Mother's Day special. It's a Zoom presentation. And our host is going to be all of us again. So we're going to send you the Zoom link if you're what do you call it now, if you're on my contacts in WhatsApp, you'll be getting a Zoom link from me. If you're in Flavius, you'll be getting a Zoom link. Maybe sometime you might get double because both of us are share the same. You might share the same link with Flavius as well as a contact. And for Max One, the same thing goes out to as well. So look Courtney. And Courtney, all of the members. So look out for that Zoom link on Sunday morning. I'm gonna send it to you because it's a 2-hour special from 6 to 8. So if you're in Miami or anywhere in the United States, you know the time zone is 6 p.m. daylight saving time. In Jamaica, it's 5 p.m. Eastern time. So that's all the bulletin that I have this morning. Max, what do you have for us?
If you are in this Eastern Caribbean, it is 6 to 8 in the Eastern Caribbean.
Max, what do you have for us?
All I have is, it was great, wonderful, love everyone, have a beautiful Friday, and remember we're all in this thing called life together. Now let's stay in one love.
We don't have no. What,
you want some birthdays?
No daily.
I got those.
You know, no daily inspiration.
Do I have a daily inspiration today? I think I do.
All right, drop it.
Okay, I will give that to you right now. Okay, today's daily inspiration. Breathe deeply into the innovative mindset required for creating the good day today. In spite of an end celebration over the myriad of obstacles, there is a golden crust embracing the morning's flavor. Breathe deeply within the cycle defined without favor. Raise thoughts in unison with solutions to every challenge today. That's our daily inspiration from Anne-Marie.
All right. There you go. Breathe deeply, everybody. And Max can tell you it sure work.
Definitely.
It definitely work. And I can tell you too, that's something I do every day. Taking what is inside, let out what's inside and breathe. All right, so until Sunday we see you again, where I ask you to take care of yourself and love one. Remember that prayer changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. I know you must pray and continue to pray. And we're going to have Queen Labafu with some words from in the Garifuna language, and then Tafina to take us out.
You lead us to Fula. You belong far away away. Aduguala Lebabu Seru. Lida Mua, Lida Sungfula. Lida Mua, Lida Sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
That's why me know that me if it could flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away